Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my fancy review of the Adelaide vs Richmond game, in which Rory Laird went absolutely huge. Still didn't get his break even though, so he'll be slightly decreasing in price. And we saw Adelaide almost come back and win this, but in the end fallen a little bit short as Richmond kicked away in the last quarter. So before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe, as this channel really needs to grow, and it's going pretty well, but I'd like to see some more growth. And now let's get into the video. So as you can see here, we'll run through Adelaide and then Richmond. So first up, Adelaide. Rory Laird, 142, absolutely huge, and it just didn't look like he was going to stop, and he had a massive last quarter to really help his break even, because I thought, especially going into it, I thought he was just gonna, it was around about here, with about halfway through the third, and I swear he was on about 80 or something like that, and then he just kicked on. So he would have scored, 8, 12, 15. So he had 17 points to go. So he scored 15 from... So he was on 78 here. Or even just 80 with like 6 minutes to go in the quarter. And then he's gone and scored 62 in the last 35, 40 minutes of game time. So that really sucks, because for me, for not having him, and for any other owners that don't have him. And then Lachie Sholl really turned up today. I don't know how much to read into this. I think we're going to have to see another round or two of him before we jump on, if he is consistent like that. Jordan Dawson did what he did last year. He had a huge fourth quarter in the comeback that was sort of there, but then fell away, I guess. O'Brien did alright, but he just doesn't look like he's a good fancy ruckman, but just not a good ruckman for actual winning football games. Like, I would love to see his, if I could find a website, if you guys know, for like hitouts to advantage and stuff like that, because it just doesn't look like he gets much of that. It just looks like his hitouts are just hitouts for hitouts' sake, I guess. And then Taylor Walker, what did he end up with? 1, 2. He ended up with only 2 goals, it looks like. I thought he kicked 3, to be honest. But we'll see here. What did he kick up? He kicked 2 goals, 3 in the end. Oops. So, he just did what a key forward would do. Sometimes they're just going to have that week where they go big, and that was Taylor Walker this week. Soligo had a great third quarter to bring his score up, but, And then Rochelle did kind of well. The only problem I have with Rochelle is that, he went quiet in the fourth quarter here, and you can't really have that with him. And I guess I'm too scared to bring him in, because he did have, what do you have? Two goals, so 12 of his points, 3 goals, and I don't think he'll constantly get that output. Then you have Smith here, who had a really good last, but other than that, didn't do anything. Keys had a really good last, if it brings it up. I thought he did, but it was generally a second half, I guess, that helped him get to that big score, because he just played that forward role and then finally got put on ball. I do not know why he is not an on-baller from the start, because he just looks 10 times better on ball. And I know they'll say they need the link up, but Keys is your second best player, in my opinion, and he's an on-baller when he plays his best, and you're not playing him in that position. It just makes no sense. And then you got Dodie here, didn't do much. A lot of these guys are just... and then you have Pedler here, and good for me that I chose Chandler, because Chandler's going to rise probably another 20k more than 30k more than... or probably 20k more than Pedler here. So, So I basically made up the difference in paying up for Chandler now, and Chandler will have a better break even probably next week. Rankin and then Berry just had a shocking game, and that should tank his price down. 70 points below his break even. He'll lose 50 or so K probably. Rory Sloane looked he looked slow. Like, he didn't look like he was actually, and obviously that's because of age, but he just didn't look that good. Then you got Michelini here, who put up, I think he's just going to be the type of guy that puts up 50 every single game, pretty much, just within 5-10 points of that. And then no one else here did anything, and then Parnell got subbed. Was it in the first quarter? He hadn't done anything by that point. It was like, halfway through the first. And he just got slung, and Broad's probably looking at 3-4 games, probably. So that's that. So unlucky if anyone had Parnell, which I don't think many people would. Parnell had an ownership of 0.12%. So it's probably just all the Adelaide full teams. Then you got Hopper here, who did pretty well in the first half and then just carried on. I honestly thought he'd done a knee injury. I believe it was in the last quarter, but somehow he escaped that. Taranto did what Taranto needed to do, basically. He's just going to put up those, I guess, numbers. Nankervis looked alright. He just dominated the hitouts from what it looks here. I think he ended up with around 40. If I check back here, Nankervis ended the game with a wrong 37 hitouts again. So he's looking really, really good this year. Maybe he was the unders pick that we needed, rather than the likes of Sean Darcy, because Sean Darcy didn't have a good game. Baker did really, really well, but I just don't like the consistency of him, so that's why I wouldn't go for him. Rioli looked really good in the first quarter, like he was leading the pack, and then just fell away in the second, third, and fourth, so that's a problem. Vlauston just pretty consistent, but not at the level we need him to be at, and he's gonna have a huge 40k decrease in price due to his break even. Jacob Graham didn't do much. Shorts taking a massive hit each game just because he's not getting the role that we need from him. And Noel Bolter did alright. Broad's going to be suspended anyway. And you got Lynch here, who did what a key forward would do. He didn't do anything in the third quarter, but he's just not fantasy friendly. And good thing I didn't end up going for Bolton, because he just didn't do enough. Then you got Dusty Martin. He was subbed out in the end, I believe, in the last quarter, just to bring on fresh legs. And he did alright for 3 quarters, but just not good enough. Cochin is tanking because he's a forward and he only kicked, 1 goal. I only think it's going to kick 7 or 8 this year. He's not going to kick many goals. Pickett did alright, but then again, he's going to give away so many free kicks. What has he got here? 1 free kick against. Did he only give away 1? It felt like he almost gave away 3 or 4. He probably only gave away 1, didn't he? Free kick against 3. I don't know where the other ones are. Did I just miss them? I must have just missed them, because he had 3 free kicks against. So yeah, he just didn't look that, I guess, positive. Where are they? I can't see them, but anyway, move on. Oh, there's 2. Yeah, no, there's 3. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. So he just gives away too many free kicks. And then we move on to Samson Reed, which I have in my side, along with, I was pretty disappointed to see 38% of people had him in their side. He must have been brought in a lot for a Ruckman trade, which sort of burnt a trade for most people, going from McAndrews to him. And yeah, he did really well in the first quarter, and then I thought he was on for like 100 or so, which I don't know why I thought that. And then he just doesn't seem to get the ball that much, and he ended up with 1, 2, 3. He had one hit out here, 4, 5, 6 hit outs in the end, a couple of marks, a couple of handballs, and 3 goals in the end. And all 3 goals were off marks, which was huge because that gives him an extra almost 10 points. Oh, man. And then, yeah, no one else did really well. Prestigious Price is just going to crash here. Too injury prone and doesn't get the role that we probably need out of him. And then, yeah, all these guys didn't do anything else. And Mansour came on in the sub and looked pretty lively in the last quarter. 19 points in about 15 minutes. But yeah, that's my review of the game between Adelaide and Richmond. And I guess I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys.